Hello, my name is Rishin Naskar, and today I'm going to show you the concept of lists and tuples. So now, lists and tuples, as we had discussed in an earlier lecture, are two concepts in which we introduced to you lightly in the data types course sections, which is that we have two parts, which is the data type one, data type two. So in those lectures, we introduced you to lists and tuples. Now we are going to go deep inside it. So defining a list, simply as we had done in the other course, the other lecture, is simply list is equal to square brackets, and this should be the name of the list. We have to then we have to put a equal to, or which is the defining sign in Python, and then we have to supply. Write the values separated by commas within two square brackets or third brackets. Defining a tuple, the only difference between defining a list and defining a tuple is that we have these, whatever I call it, circle brackets, first brackets, whatever. Now printing list, we just simply print it like just like any variable or anything. 1 2 3 4 5 6, it gives it in the same format as the definition. Tuple, it gives in the same format as the definition. Now here comes the interesting part: accessing elements from a list. In order to access elements from a list, we have to type the name of the list and then the index number. Okay, so let me tell you an interesting information. It's unlike normal numeric systems, but we have to get used to it. The fact is that Python starts indexing from 0. So the one you see here is actually the 0th element. 2 here is the first element, 3 here is the second element, 4 is the third element, 5 is the fourth element, and so on and so forth. It's similar for tuples. So if I give 5, which value should it output? It should be 6, right? Because 6 is in the 5th position. Because if we can start counting 0 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me put 6 as we assumed. So can we change the values in a list? Yes, we can, but let's type it in, and also let's print the list, and we get that the first value is changed to none, so it is not a problem. Now for tuples, it is giving an error, because if we try to type, let's say, none, let's also change it to none, it gives an error saying that type object does not support item assignment. Why is that? That is because tuples are not mutable, which means that once created, it cannot be changed. So whenever we try to change a value in a tuple, it won't change because a tuple is immutable, whereas a list is mutable. So what is mutable? One value that can be changed after being created is known as mutable. A value which cannot be changed after being created is immutable. A list is mutable, a tuple is immutable. Okay, so now we move on to a very interesting topic, which is methods in list. Okay, so there's a method called .append, which appends values to a list which we have already created. That means that we don't have to physically go there, and since if it is a long this is a short program, but if it's a long program, then it's not possible to go there every time and change the value. So we use the append command. Okay, so what we do here with that is that we type the name of the list, we put a dot, and then we put the append statement. Remember the spelling, append, then first brackets, and then peers. I mean, whatever. In this case, it's peers, but it can be anything. It should be the name. It should be the value which the desired value which you want to um, want to export to the or import in the list. Okay. Now, if you print the list, we'll get to see that we get the value peers. Hmm. Okay, so we have another method called the copy method or the dot copy method. It's similar. It all has a similar format. Now, what I want to what I want to say to you is that it creates a copy of the original list. In this case, the original list is list one. I created a copy. This name can be anything. It's just another list where I stored the copy. In this case, it's stored in list one copy. If you print the list one copy, we'll get it apples, oranges, pineapples, pears, which is same as list one. So it's an exact copy of the list or the original list. The clear method deletes all the elements in a list. So here we take the copy of the list one and we use the dot clear method. If you print the list, we'll get an empty or null set since all the values have been cleared. There's also a pop method. So what happens in a pop method is that it takes in a specific position or a specific index and pops or deletes the element which is in that position. So in this case, if we go to the list, in a third position we have if we start counting from 0, apple is 0, oranges is 1, pineapples is 2, pears is 3. So the last element is pears and it has an index value of 3. We have given the index value of 3 to be popped, and so the value pears will get popped or deleted. So in my environment or the environment which I use is called Jupyter Notebook. I'll introduce it to you in a later lecture, but for now I'll recommend you to use the Python ID that you get. Okay, so in here in this environment or Jupyter Notebook, it prints the everything or the value that is getting popped or deleted. But if you print the list, we'll observe that the value is not there. So we have just covered a few of the methods that are available with lists, but for a deeper understanding, we have to visit this website, which is w3rschools.com website, and we have this has lists or array methods. So what are arrays? Arrays is another name for list in Python. Okay, so we have just covered a few: append, clear, copy. There are a few more. We have also covered pop. There is also something called remove, which removes the first item with the specified value. We have reverse, sort, index, insert, extend, count, and many more. So thank you, and we will be stopping here for today.